Welcome to I Think This
Hello,
Is Great.
good friend, but also, yeah, fellow podcaster and Substacker, if that's what you call it. But thanks for having me. It's,
Yeah, we've done
not-
some other collaborative stuff, not live video. We
mm,
have a series called the Alfred Letters about just our musings on some Batman stuff. But yeah, we do uh, bi-weekly uh,
mhm.
podcasts about movies at League Podcasts. And if you are following either of our Substacks and you're here, already know that. But if you're a new fan, then welcome. I'm in the historic Arts at the Armory building where Dursin joined me last week with Rachel and Stacy. They gave me an honorarium. They gave me a little community arts award, and my friend Mark runs Dead Moon Audio. Which, do you know the band Morphine, Dursin?
Yeah, of course.
This is the Morphine recording studio that we're in now. It's under new name. So my friend Mark, thanks for letting us use the studio for me to come down here while I was at the Arts at the Armory anyways. And we were going to do a podcast tonight. John's not feeling well. So I said, let's do something. And so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, you shouldn't downplay the award. You received an award for an art advocacy of the arts,
Yeah,
something
community arts advocate. I just,
advocate. Yeah, I
and
knew
I
that
guess
was
they put my name on the wall up there, and like there's a
wow.
list of the people that got it before. And that when they first started doing it, the first one was Ayanna Presley in 2020. So
Oh well,
in good company there on the wall next to her name.
yeah. I thought you were going to say like, oh, like someone from like 1912 or something like that.
No,
That's
because the
still cool.
organization that runs the place is like pretty new. So
Oh, okay.
so yeah, yeah, it was great. It was a great time. So thanks to them. Thanks to you for coming to that weird thing. There's you can see on the League Podcast Instagram how the thing you wrote was really funny. It's like Clay looks like he's with a bunch of strippers right now, but it was like samba dancing.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen samba dancing, and I guess that's my fault. But it's women with like headdresses and
Yeah,
wings, and
yeah,
they, you know,
and they
dancing.
were,
And you would just because like they didn't give you a lot of instructions, so it's
and
kind
it
of just
was
go and
also
sit
for
in this
too long.
chair.
It was for like 20 minutes.
It was,
So I was just
I
sitting in a
mean,
chair, and I didn't get to talk and thank anybody or anything, which is
right.
fine. But like obviously, like that's what we want to do is like talk, you know.
Well, right, that's our thing. But I don't know, even like a few seconds to be like, "Hey, I appreciate this award.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thanks to you." But like, yeah, you just go and you sit. They have those giant chairs that you see, like, in wherever. I don't know, just those giant throne type things. But they
Yeah,
just
you
look
would seem
like
like at a casino or something.
right, right. So you just sat there, and the women are all dancing around you, and you're just like,
And I
like
kept reminding
dancing
myself, like, yeah,
along.
smile, you're on stage, smile. Show off your expensive teeth, smile, you know.
Oh, hey, there you go. Right? You should.
Ah, the classic IPA. See, when we do our
Yeah.
podcast, people might not know this, but we don't have cameras turned on. We're old school
Right.
podcast in that way. You
Yeah.
know?
This is my Fiddlehead IPA.
Yeah.
It's a nice day out. I mean, I know this is weird, but yeah, like, look, it's beautiful, sunny
Yeah.
day finally,
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
I thought I would have a little beer in the afternoon after a long day at work.
Well,
Anyway, yeah.
to the 8 people watching, you are welcome to ask us any questions about us, what we do, or whatever. But I'm gonna kick it off with the um, picture right here. You know what grinds my gears, and you know what grinds my gears, Durson. And I'm not pitting this as a bike guy versus car guy thing, but Stacy's away, so I have her car, and
Oh,
and Somerville is actually kind of far away from our house. I was glad that she was able to give me a ride the other night over here, but usually I ride my bike here and do my shows and do whatever. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take the car over there. So I go to the WeWork, I had to move my car twice, and I was very like aware of when I had to move it. In Cambridge, in Central Square, I had the timers, and I was like, and like you have to keep moving your car around. That that's a pain in the ass. That sucks. That sucks. I'm just talking
Yeah,
to someone that doesn't drive a lot, right?
yeah, it really grinds my gears.
Yeah, and then so I parked near the church for the last part of it, put it in, and then I was out there before the thing expired, and I still got a fucking ticket because they
What?
said the meter was broken and that I wasn't following the rules, and that I have the receipt. I have the receipts that it was like, yeah, I got the ticket at 2:45, and I had the spot till 3:02. I was out there at 3:01 at the car looking at the ticket. So Stacy says we can fight it. I think it's
Yeah.
annoying. That
Sometimes if you move, but you're like too close to the other space, they kind of like don't consider it moving the car. It's
No,
weird.
I like moved the car like into three distinct zones of
All
like
right.
the parking zone thing. It's like it kept moving around. Anyway, she thinks we can fight it, which is fine. But a a
So
bike
it's her
versus
car, so
car
she doesn't
thing.
want it going on her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll pay it or whatever, but I don't think I should have to. Um, but bike versus car thing. Are you on Facebook? Do you follow only in Boston?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So every time somebody posts something, they post the news that's like gonna affect everybody. So it's like new bike lanes on Boylston Street will be
Mhm.
constructed this year or whatever. And it's like a picture of the bike lanes. And there are such fucking assholes in there. Like, bikes should pay excise tax if they're going to use the road. This is such a
Oh,
waste. Like
interesting.
all these people like that are like anti safety like bike lanes, which I value, and I also pay taxes. It's not like I don't pay taxes to live in the city. And I appreciate that because of someone that got hit by a car. But I understand like their frustrations, but it always turns into like a MAGA fucking wasteland of like people being like those fucking liberal cucks, like
Oh, Jesus.
bike riders or whatever. And then I mean, I'm not like saying like I'm a bike guy, you're a car guy, even though that kind of is true. But like,
Yeah,
it
it's
just
true.
they they're such dicks. I can't even explain it. I get so mad at them on that page.
I understand. Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't look at that because it's very bad. Like, like,
Yeah, I probably shouldn't.
but I will say, like, sometimes there are. Let me put it this way: there's evil on both sides, like they say in whatever Star Wars movie that was in. But like,
Yeah,
there are cucks on both sides, the car side and the bike side, because there are
yeah,
cyclists who are total assholes, and they ride in that bike lane like it's like a force field that they're not gonna get hit, and
yeah,
they don't stop at the lights or stop signs or
right.
anything. So they're only bikes when they want to, like when it behooves them, and they're
Mhm.
vehicles when it behooves them. So
And that's
I'm just
probably,
saying, it's both.
yeah. That's why that's why I like didn't want to like be like what this isn't like that like cross crossfire where I'm coming on here as like the bike guy and you're the car guy,
Right.
because like I believe in, I'm like a responsible bike rider, like I
I know
stop
that.
at
I
the
didn't.
bus.
You're not one of the cucks.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm like always like this guy's on his fucking phone driving it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
I can see you getting our driver, not you, but like drivers getting like, why did this guy just fucking run through the stop sign or the red light, or like, is like taking up the lane on the when there's not a bike lane, like why is he like taking up like he's a car, which actually is the legal thing. You are able to ride your
I understand.
vehicle in the car. But But driving around, like, I'm petrified. I hate driving just because I think I'm like gonna kill someone or myself. Like, I'm just like, this thing is like big and dangerous. I don't have my 10,000 hours in, you know. I can drive okay. I've driven in New York City even, but like, I hate it so much. And then this whole thing with the parking ticket today got me worked up.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, getting a parking ticket is the most annoying thing. I can't stand it. I can't. As a driver, a frequent driver, I feel like that is the most annoying thing in the world. But in Massachusetts too. So we should. I don't know if anybody's not from around here, but it's a whole different. Driving here is just insane. The people are nuts. I'm one of them, so I know that. So if you're not from around here and you're like, what are these guys talking about? It's driving in Massachusetts is the worst. There's mass holes. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I was on TikTok and like sometimes there'll be like a young girl. It's like, I just moved to Boston. I'm from Alabama. She's like, wow, like they don't give you, like, they are aggressive here. You know, like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
they
So
won't, like, if you're turning, they just want you to fucking turn so they can go around you. You know, like hurry up.
yeah, I mean, I'll put it this: there's like rules, and sort of like you have to obey them, or you're gonna get left behind. Like
Yeah.
you can't. You can be nice to a point, but there's a certain standard. I feel like that you have to adhere to.
Well, Stacy says that when I if I my biggest drive ever now is like coming back from like my dad's or my sister's house. It's like an hour from New Hampshire. I'll be like, "Do you want me to drive home?" She's like, "Yeah, that'd be nice." Okay, I'll drive. And she's like, "Yeah, you are a safe driver. You kind of drive like a grandma." But if I was out there hitting the streets every day, boom,
Right.
I would be. I
You
would.
learn. It hardens you. You know. It's but it's maybe better. Just stay off. We don't need any more grandmas on
Yeah.
the road.
I mean, I don't like whenever Stacy's like, "Oh, you can take my car." I'm always like, "No, that's okay." But sometimes I do. I was like, I'm gonna add the balls. I'll do it, and then I get the goddamn parking ticket. Oh, it looks like Stefan's here. Hey, Stefan.
Stephen, how's it going?
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I mean, Somerville too. I mean, there's where you are right now. It is a crazy place because the roads are always being like worked on, and there's
yeah, there was a
like
lot of
construction going
construction.
on
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Yep.
yeah, but
Well,
yeah.
that was just my grinds my gears moment. You mentioned before we got on about your Substack land. You have something coming up. I'd love to hear about it, man. Because I
Uh,
literally don't know. It's news to me.
yeah. Um, sure. I'll plug it right now. I don't know exactly when. It's this week. It'll be up. I'm sort of guest column. I'm gonna have a guest column in. There's a Substack called the 90-minute movie
Oh,
by
nice.
yeah Amanda Cusick, and she writes about 90-minute movies, like movies that aren't too long. I
Oh,
mean, they're 88, 102. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
not all 90 minutes, but shorter movies that aren't long and you know
I know
boring.
you like those. I know you like those.
Well, that was kind of what I was saying. Like, I'll give a little preview. I won't tell you the movie that I actually talk about because that'd be spoiling it. But
Spoiler warning.
yeah, there's a little prelude about back in my video store days,
Mm-hmm.
and you remember because you were we're of the same age. Those videos, those movies that were like two tapes. You remember
Yeah,
those?
you don't like a two taper.
No, you can't do two tapes, especially like the video store I worked in. Monday through Friday, it was 1 day rental.
Mm.
So you can't watch one of those in 1 day. Like, forget it.
Yeah,
It's too
yeah,
long.
yeah.
So, anyways, I kind of make a joke about that, but check it out. It's called the 90-minute movie. Just find it on
Great.
Substack, and I'll be on there this week. But she's got a lot of great stuff that isn't
That's
me.
so
So,
cool. So
yeah.
they asked you to do it. That's really cool.
She just put it out there. Like, does anybody want to
Nice,
write a guest column? And I said, yeah, I do. And
nice.
maybe she just wanted to take a week off. I don't know, but she, here's a funny thing too. So like, I sent her the thing like through Google Docs, and she
Yeah.
said like, "Oh, I ran it through Grammarly just to be, because I run everything through Grammarly," and there were all
Yeah.
these like little things that I was like, "Oh, I should probably know that," but
That's what I mean, secret to the trade here, but maybe people want to know. I mean, I like, and Stefan, who's edited me for years, like I'm grateful. I mean, I don't have an editor now, but I do use, like, I do write. I do the writing, right? But I kind of leave grammar and spelling to Grammarly and Gemini and ChatGPT. I go every before I post now, I go paragraph by paragraph, and if it's like, it's just kind of rambling. I don't really care about it that it's rambling because that's like my style, but like I do want it to fix stuff, word stuff. And I'm always like, oh yeah, that is kind of a better way to say that, or I spelled that wrong, or whatever. You know what I mean? It
well,
just helps.
yeah, I mean, I went over for spelling and stuff, I mean, but like just certain grammar, and I was wondering, like, how like they don't teach math the same way, right, as when we were in school.
Yeah.
Do they not teach grammar the same way? Is it
I don't
different now?
know.
Is grammar different? I don't know, but like there were certain things like that I was like, oh, well, that's weird, like, or when to use parentheses. I use parentheses way too much, but so I was
Mm,
trying to use dashes, or whatever,
yeah.
something else. I'm like, oh, it's all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I think it came out thanks to the Grammarly, but we'll we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there's like some good books about like style and writing, and then like I think Stephen Fry kind of is like, I like Stephen Fry's take on it, where I think I've mentioned it before, but it's like language is language. It can be whatever you want. Like it can be
Hmm.
sloppy, or like, like Vonnegut loved the semicolon, but like a lot of people that write seriously try not to use semicolons that
Yeah,
often, because it's like, or that I think that if either one of us would be like, okay, like 30-minute challenge, Clay and Thurston, go write 500 words on this
yeah,
in an hour. We would probably use the passive voice a lot and stuff like that. Like,
sure.
it's best to usually try. Like, you just kind of can't really perfect it like the first draft every time. You know what I mean? And it's like Substack's a little ephemeral. I like that it has a lot of reach, but like, if something's wrong in my Substack, I don't like beat myself up over it.
Right.
you know?
No, me too. But it is, it's just, it just got me thinking, like, because obviously I've been thinking grammar since like whatever,
Yeah,
high school or
30
something.
plus years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this though. So here's just an example. When you're talking about the '90s in like a number form, right?
Mm. Nine
So
zero S. I've looked it up.
that's it. 90s. I would
Yeah.
always put like a little apostrophe.
I think I've
That's wrong.
had the same question so much that it, it auto it auto completes when I do the Google search. How do you
Uh,
write decades in whatever? Yeah, or you spell it out NINE.
if anybody, well, I mean, yeah, but that seems long to go 90s,
Yeah.
NINETIE. Yeah, forget that. But I don't know if anybody's on there and is a writer, because you might be writing your own Substack. How do you write '90s? I don't know, but whatever. That was one, and I suppose now I'll change it because Grammarly fixed that one. But and I write '90s a lot because I talk about the '90s a lot in my Substack.
Yeah, I think we both do. I think we both do. You're right about the '90s movies and stuff like that a lot. Uh,
Yeah, I do. Man,
that's awesome. Well, we have we're like keeping it like kind of short today, but I did have a couple of topics. Be looking forward to that Substack. If you're on my Substack, I did kind of a random movie that I thought about the other day. I thought of you because you do just a lot of like movies that you remember fondly. And there was a '90s movie I did, the Sweet and Lowdown Woody Allen movie, that I've always really loved, and I like rewatched it, and I was like, yeah, this is good movie, as we say. and that was on my previous Substack. So people can check that out too. Um, but anyways, I had a topic. We also did like kind of a similar podcast thing where we talked about Free Comic Book Day. That's this weekend. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
So I don't know if you have Free Comic Book Day plans. I don't know. I probably won't do anything for it.
I do not have plans. In fact, here's an interesting thing. So this website that we were using, you and I were both using to order physical comic books from,
Yeah.
as of today, is
Oh,
out of business. Today is their last day. So if you were
I
ordering from
guess I
tfaw.com, you're SOL. Um,
I guess
so
I have
I
to get that Duke Silent issue from somewhere else that came out today. I don't know. I was signed up to
yeah,
get all the GI Joe stuff, but I'll just figure it out. I guess
you'll figure it out.
maybe I'll go to Hub Comics here in Somerville and tell
There you
Tim to
go.
give me a subscription to all that stuff.
He's a
Yeah,
GI Joe guy, so he'll
he's a
get
GI.
you.
He gets it, and he'll be happy for the business. I'm sure. You know what I mean? But like, but oh,
Well, sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no,
I
you
was
go.
just gonna say I took your advice. Oh,
Yeah,
geez. You said just sign up for Marvel Unlimited, and
right.
I found a coupon code online. It was $55 for the year. I was like, this is it. I mean, I don't think I can do paper comics anymore unless it's like Terry Moore or something very it's special, but like regular weekly Marvel comics, I'm
Have
out.
you are you digging it? I don't know. I've talked about digital comics a lot, but
It's only been like a day or two, so like
oh,
the
okay.
thing that it's hard though because obviously there's like 80 years of history, and if I want to read an X-Men comic from the 90s, 90s, you know what I mean, I gotta like dig for it,
But it's
or
in
I
there.
it's in there, yeah, so that's a good thing.
That's
But
what I like. All the Daredevil is in there. It's awesome.
yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like the best way to do it, I found so far. Oh, there's Amanda. I was just talking about you.
Hey,
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda, I'm
I
gonna
was
sign
just
up for your
plugging the.
Substack.
I just plugged your Substack. So anyway, so here's the deal. Like I think if I want to read like, let's take one of your favorite storylines, Atlantis Attacks.
Hmm.
It's from
I think I've looked for it and it's not in there.
really? Oh shit.
It
Well,
might it might be, but I maybe I didn't look up. I didn't spend a lot of time looking for it. I think I typed it in.
well, that's the thing. The best thing I found is like to just Google it, like
Yeah,
say like Atlantis Attacks Marvel, and like
get the CBR or something.
no, it'll like at least so like the things that I've tried, it shows up as like an option. It
Oh,
just takes
in
you right to
unlimited. Okay, yeah, yeah,
so like as opposed to like scrolling through tons of
yeah,
comics, because
yeah,
like you would have to find each individual one if it was one of those crossover deals or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So I found that sort of workaround. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna like it. And when I added up how much money I was spending
yeah.
on comics, I was like, this is insane. So
It's gonna benefit us all when it all comes crashing down.
I was gonna write a whole thing about like it's similar to the video store, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it becomes too easy to not go.
Hmm.
I would like to say I could just go to a comic store, but it's
Yeah.
kind of easy not to do it.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree. I mean, I've
sad,
felt that
but
way for a while now, but then it was like, I need to have my GI Joes, especially with Energon Universe. I want to have them all. My lifetime goal is to have everything. Probably not including Devil's Due, but like most any Larry Hama related, even if he didn't write it, like anything, a real American hero, GI Joe stories. I have mostly all the IDW ones. I don't think I missed any issues. Besides that one
oh,
series that I hated. I was like, I stopped buying it. I was this is worse. But yeah, I mean, it's what I like about the apps is that I could be like, look back on something that I know about, or read something that would be a trade I would just pick up for cheap, like the Korvac saga or something, or you know
oh
what
my
I
god,
mean?
I literally just read that today. Well,
Yeah,
shoot,
like like you can just go in there and I can read like the Long Halloween, and then I can read all the new ones, and like I like it for the like sort of legacy stuff. Maybe something I didn't buy. I could be like, I want to read like weird like Peter David X Factor or whatever. Like, yeah, I can just have it. I don't have to
That
go to the
was
store and
stuff.
buy trades and stuff. You know what I mean? That's what's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, yeah, that was a big deal though, big life change for
That's
me.
a good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. We'll keep the hard copies for special occasions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like, just like vinyl in like 20 years, people are like, oh, hard paper comics. Wow, that's
Yeah.
look at that. Look at you. Or
Ki-
whatever. And now tapes, even tapes have come back. Like tape,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
audio
There's
tape.
people probably make a lot of cassettes that record in the studio here. Like they make vinyl and cassettes because they sell a lot of them at shows. People love them. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's right. It's become a thing again. But I didn't want to buy CDs back in the 90s, 90s.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amanda. You got me on the straight and narrow. But like, I mean, I knew, and I knew a lot of people. Like, I'm not going to buy the CD. I already have the tape. And then
Yeah.
look what happens. So
Well, comic related. Also, there's Free Comic Book Day. Um, Thunderbolts is this weekend. You and Rachel tend to go on opening weekend? Do you
yeah,
have plans?
we're going Thursday tomorrow because it's
Okay.
easier.
Looks
No
fun.
one
Looks
knows.
cool.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
great.
cool.
I think reviews are pretty good.
So
But
far, so good.
so
Yeah.
far so good. Um, they say it's like Avengers. Yeah, the quality of an Avengers movie is basically like the broad strokes I've heard, which is cool. Um, Now, since we
Now.
haven't seen it, not much we can say except go to Free Comic Book Day. Go see the traditional movie for Free Comic Book Day, right? That would be Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And but let's say just because I had to say that I went, Captain America, the new movie, is it Brave New World or
Yeah.
no?
Brave New World.
Brave New World. I Your consensus was that it was fine. I also thought it was fine. It was fine. It
Fine.
wasn't great. I thought it was fun that Harrison Ford played a superhero and a Hulk. Um, I liked that when they were on the submarine, or not the submarine, the aircraft carrier, he had like an Air Force One jacket on. I thought that was like a funny little like
Oh, I
Easter
mean,
egg kind of thing. But but yeah, I mean, it was fine. But I think that um, and I've talked about this kind of like in my posts or whatever. But like, you know, Anthony Mackie's cool. I don't have a problem with him being Captain America. Not that I would, but I mean, he's not Steve Rogers. But like, I feel like him and the Black Widow movie just were like really underserving what those guys could do as far as solo movies. They weren't great. They weren't
yeah,
great.
no, Black Widow was pretty bad. I hate to say,
I thought it
but
was pretty bad. It's one of my
yeah,
least favorite Marvel movies.
yeah, I agree. I agree, but
This wasn't one of my least favorite. It was just
no,
mid, as the kids
yeah, it
say.
was
It was
mid,
mid.
definitely mid. I mean, it didn't offend me or anything like that, but and it
Yeah,
wasn't like boring like Eternals, but it
right.
just wasn't a great. It wasn't like wow, I love that movie was amazing. And I know there's a lot of Marvel fatigue and stuff, but I feel like this one it wasn't like going to set us on the right path, but it was also not great. I don't know. It's probably going to be on Disney Plus. I know it's soon, if not already. It's not already there. I might not
Yeah,
even watch it again, but I don't know.
yeah.
Some
I just
Saturday
wish.
night after a few of these.
Yeah, I mean, it just was fine.
Yeah.
What would be a letter grade for fine? A B,
I
B
don't know. I
minus,
guess
B
it's
plus.
probably a B minus. I don't even really remember much about it now. Like I remember obviously the Red Hulk. Everybody was excited about that,
Yeah,
um, But I feel
But
like
we
you can
know who Red Hulk is, so we weren't surprised. You know what I
right,
mean?
like
Comic
they
book
gave
fan.
it away in the trailer. So
Yeah,
uh, but I kind of feel like you know, I don't know, like I heard they had a lot of rewrites and stuff and reshoots, and
yeah,
you can kind of see it. It was very unevenly paced.
yeah.
So
What can you
whatever.
do? What can you
What can
do?
you do?
But
Our
then they
expectations
come.
are lowered.
There's going to be enthusiasm, I think, in general for Thunderbolts. So
Yeah, people seem to be kind of excited. I think people are excited for. I don't know. Are people excited for Fantastic Four?
I kind of am not. I don't really care. I mean, how many times are they going to make this movie?
Well, Marvel, Disney has never made this movie,
Does it
so
matter, dude? I mean,
I don't
like,
know. We'll
I,
find out.
I'm just saying, like, I posted a picture of the Roger Corman thing, and I said, has it occurred to anyone to just not try to make this movie? And Savage Dragon's Eric Larson, who I'm friends with on Facebook, wrote,
Oh,
no, it has not. So it's not a controversial
obvious.
opinion. They have made this movie so many fucking times. My hero Tim Heidecker is in one of them. You know, like I kind of think that I kind of like schlocky or early OOs s like
OS. Yeah.
like pre Marvel universe, like Blade, Daredevil, Fantastic Four. Like I bought those movies on DVD and watched them. I thought that was they're
Just
okay.
say you just
Like I'm not saying they're great, but like it's just like
they're
now we have
fine.
another one, dude. It's just crazy to me.
I don't know. Has it ever been? You're right. I mean, I definitely also have been in on that bandwagon where like, is this movie just doesn't work? Like, do these characters just not work in modern times? I mean, they were from the '60s, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if it works, But so now they're setting it in the '70s, I guess, right? I think that's when this movie is set.
yeah, but
Maybe
it's like another universe, multiverse spaghetti thing.
sure,
Yeah,
whatever. The
I don't know.
spaghetti, yeah, the spaghetti. I I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
it'll
We'll
be
have to see.
fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's all we can say about it, and all of these things. As long as it's fine. That's what I mean. Our expectations were lowered so much by most of the post Endgame Marvel movies, which were not that good. So yeah, like you have to just be like, I hope it's fine. But
Yeah, I mean, I just am like 10 years ago me would be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see Marvel really take it on and it's Marvel Studios this time and whatever." But it's been so long and so many different versions of this movie. And the Roger Corman one is like not a real movie. It was like made so that they can retain the rights. It like was meant to be shitty. Like I'm
I
not
think
really talking about that, but like they had Fan Forest Stick, which was terrible, and everyone hated it. Like people kind of they especially hate the second Rise of the Silver Surfer Fantastic Four movie. I thought they were fun. I thought they were fine. I thought they were fun. I don't know, but that
they
was younger me.
they went a certain way. I mean, they were terrible. They were fine. I mean, that's all I'll say. Like, they were fine. Like
Yeah,
they made a choice to not make them serious
yeah.
superhero movies. And honestly, the casting was great. I
I thought the
actually
casting was
the casting
perfect.
was great. I mean, you're not gonna get Chris Evans to do that,
Yeah,
although
right.
he did Deadpool and Wolverine. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's the casting was great. The stories were silly. I know nobody liked the Cloud Galactus, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that
they
was
made
a
a
bad
choice.
story choice, but not
Yeah,
like I mean, like the thing was cool looking and I'm just remembering like not like me like watching it now, but like when it came out, when I had the DVD, I was like, this is cool. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, this is whatever, cool. Just kind of when I made you guys watch Daredevil again. Like I just remembered I had the DVD, like,
yeah.
whatever, it's fine. I think the Blade movies though actually are actually pretty great as far as like vampire movies and stuff like that. So if we ever get around to doing that, that would be cool. And Sinners, I'm excited about Sinners. I haven't seen that yet, but
Yeah, Sinners is supposed to be good. So they canceled. Speaking of Blade, they canceled that again, right? Like that is completely off
I
the
think that
Marvel book.
I think
The
that Blade
Ursula
is
Arley one. Yeah.
I think that Blade is canceled. And then in DC news, I just you some you're always like kind of not like sharing with me, but you say I get these alerts on my phone about comic stuff, and somehow start opening Chrome on my phone, and now I get these headlines that are like comic headlines from Google, and today they canceled the Colin Farrell Sergeant Rock movie
Oh,
for
I didn't know
DC
about that.
Studios. So
That's all right.
yeah, Google alert.
Oh,
you know,
I didn't get that one, but
yeah. I mean, not that anyone cares, but like
well, I mean,
it's
maybe
just
that'll be more like a military thing. I remember Sergeant Rock when I was a
yeah,
kid.
I could see that being a cool movie, James Gunn world. You know, I could see him doing that. I am looking forward to Superman. That'll be fun. You know, but also it has like almost, if not worse, the same problem as Fantastic Four.
Right.
The first superhero. How many movies are the first Superman movie reboot every 10 years
I
or
mean,
so, you know?
I have to say, it's been like 40 years since there's been I mean, okay, people like Man of Steel, but it's been a long time since that one, since Superman has been in a good movie.
Yeah. Well,
I think
we did have, but you can't deny that it exists. There was a whole other universe based on
it
another.
exists.
You know, it exists. That's just the fact.
There was a movie. There
There,
was that, with the poor. So what? Yeah, they did Brandon Routh, right?
yeah.
Uh,
Superman Returns.
Returns. I mean, the first two Christopher Reeves were definitely, you know, fun and whatever. The last two were not good. They did Brandon Routh. They did the Man of
And
Steel, which people
and
like.
Superman Returns is kind of a recasting. Like that's
Yeah,
a sequel to the other movies, so it's like kind of a weird thing.
yeah, very weird. And then like obviously Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
Oh,
fidget and
not even
sigh.
fine. I mean, it was terrible. And then everything from that era. I mean, forget it. After that, they just went completely off the rails. But yeah,
I
we'll
know how
see.
it used to
James
be.
Gunn now. You know,
Yeah. Well, what else can we?
nerds rejoice.
Yeah, nerds rejoice. What else did we want to talk about, Durson?
I don't
Trump's
know.
hundred
I feel like
first
I
hundred days.
first I know.
There's so many like I get like 10 substacks a day about Trump's 100 days. We no we don't usually talk politics or anything. I'm not trying to go.
No, I actually my therapist because I get like CNN, I get like updates from CNN, and my
Yeah.
therapist said, "Man, maybe you should turn those off because it just gets me mad."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to know. It's more,
I need
it's
to
the news.
know. I
I want
need
to be
to
informed, but also I don't know. I mean, I want to be like it sends me other stuff, right? They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Val Kilmer passed away," so I mean, I
Yep.
want to know that.
Yeah.
But it's also like, oh, the economy's in the shitter, you know, and stuff. So
Well,
I
if
don't know.
anybody that's still watching has any questions for us, write a little message. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't.
Maybe we'll figure out how to do that. Or you're the host.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So I mean, I do like the Substack Live thing because we don't have a platform. We always edit our podcasts with our cameras off and don't do like a live thing. One time I think we did an Instagram live about GI Joe. Remember
oh
that?
yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. Similar to this. Um but I do like Substack as a platform because it's a way to make money, I guess. Not that we're making a ton of money
Is
off
it?
of Substack,
Right. If
but
you're
it
someone of note.
creatively there are a couple people that give me a couple bucks here and there. So
Oh, all
I
right.
I feel like it creatively it forces me to want to give like a post a week or something, and then this Substack live thing, it's like I could do it by myself and like do a whole thing on politics or about comics or about a movie or something. Like I like that, maybe doing like a Substack live like once a month, and then I'll get it'll count as one of my 4 posts that I'm trying to creatively like sort of they're only self-imposed deadlines, right? But like I like to have consistent stuff out there, and I know you do too. You're always posting.
I I don't really. I suppose I should. I don't have like a set schedule, and I know I try to do it twice a month.
Yeah.
And but if I don't have anything to say, I guess it's kind of like I should probably just have like a back. I should just write a bunch of stuff, and then just. And I tried that for a while, but then it just.
You know what I do, and I've been doing it for years. I If I have an idea for a movie or like an idea of like a concept or something, like I remember some weird random story about there's this one about this guy that came in to the Kinkos that I was working at one time. It smelled like sandalwood soap, and he was such a weird guy. He kind of looked like, Laurel and Hardy. I forget which one's the fat one, but he like looked like that guy, and he was that guy, and he kept like coming in and like almost doing like an American Psycho thing about the paper that his resume was printed on. He was so weird.
Oh,
But anyways,
oh, that was that was the line I remember from American Psycho.
yeah, he like smelled like sandalwood soap. It was like a whole thing. I like sense memory. If I smell sandalwood, I think of this guy. But I go into I open Substack and I go sandalwood resume guy Kinkos, and I save a draft, and then I'll be like Batman v Superman, and I save a draft. I have like it just says like 2 or 3 words in it, just like ideas
Oh
of
wow.
something that I could maybe write about someday. So I just like save them all in there for some reason.
Yeah, I have stuff in drafts, but they're almost a lot of them are finished. They're like finished things that I was like, I don't think I can. I don't think I'm gonna write that one. I don't think I'm gonna post that one. Like so.
Oh
In a way,
wow,
I think that's good. Like I'm kind of editing where I
yeah,
used to just think everything I did was amazing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I used to think
right.
I'm a great writer. Everything is gold. But
You
now I'm
are a
like,
great writer.
whatever. I mean, I write what I'm just stream of conscious crap. But like, yeah, like I have stuff that I'm like, I'm not gonna post that. So maybe someday I will though. Maybe you're right. But
I
I
like
mean,
that you
yeah,
have. I like that we both have stuff in our drafts, but we approach it like so differently. And you
yeah.
have finished pieces in there. And I always go, when I have some free time, I'm gonna write up that sandalwood resume guy story. I never do, Because
I
we also
I
have a
don't know.
podcast we put out and like have to edit and like do other stuff, work, and
Yeah, we have stuff. We have other stuff.
yeah, we have other stuff.
Well, I do like Substack though. There is a certain a community aspect to some of it. So like doing stuff like this. I'm also a member of this baseball
Nice.
Substack that like they get together every Friday night and Sunday night and they just talk baseball like on like a chat. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
fun. Yeah, like just baseball. So stuff like that is great. I know there are people. So what's the deal with Substack? You wrote something kind of recently about like, do they let on some bad people or something, or what's the deal? What's
Yeah. Oh, I just kicked my Substack
uh,
music stand. Um, so it's complicated, right? Like because I wrote about how one thing I did write about was me deleting Twitter from my phone, right?
mm,
And basically like I scraped all my stuff out of there so they can't use it for AI or whatever. That's not related to Substack, but um there's almost a compelling reason. Let's let's not talk about Substack, but let's talk about Twitter as a substitute. So there's a compelling reason for me to have stayed on Twitter because there's such assholes on there, and like you're a voice of not an asshole. You know what I mean? Adding to what is there. So there was some controversy about like how some like bad actors, neo Nazis or whatever, like had Substack platform. They were on there, and there probably still are. There's probably assholes that, like you said, there's evil everywhere, right?
Right.
But my my thing about not going to Ghost.io or Medium or something like that is that my audience is already here, and like we're not directly talking about politics today, but if I want to talk about politics on my Substack, I can do that and feel good that I'm a good voice on there. And because I see people that I respect in their Substacks that I follow, they're using that. They're using this live video function. And Substack isn't like sponsoring this or anything, but I feel like it is a good way to get your voice out there and be a positive voice in the world. Like Jim Acosta, Steve Schmidt, Rick Wilson, like bloggers, podcasters, personalities that are just trying to send out like a positive good message are still sticking with Substack. So I feel like adding to the conversation in a good way kind of pushes the bad shit away, even though there might be people on the platform that you don't agree with or whatever. There's actually somebody that I'm like that I met in a Substack writers group. We really don't agree with politics at all, but we support each other's writing, and he writes like short stories, and like we're opposite politically, but I like the guy and I support his Substack. So there's just like I think that it's just a good platform that's not like Twitter, but I like how it kind of lets you organically grow, like me from my MySpace days, like following everybody, like it
Oh yeah,
kind of like
the most
suggests
popular
us.
man on MySpace, as
Yeah,
you were.
they get like they organically suggest you to people, and I like that part of it too. And then I'm always throwing stuff in our little chat, and I I I think this is great chat on Substack. And I don't know if people are reading that stuff, but I feel like if I were to blow up, we became more famous or whatever, like it's just kind of a good place to have a good solid ground.
That's very true. And if there's obviously there's going to be people you don't agree with everywhere. Evil is everywhere, but good is everywhere too. And you don't have to follow the people you don't agree with if you don't want to. But maybe
And you don't
sometimes
have to give them money. I think that's the thing.
well,
It's like
that's true.
people are like, oh well, and let's say like a neo-Nazi is on Substack, and like people are paying them money and getting disinformation and shitty. They're giving money to some bad thing. Um, you know, uh, that sucks. Don't give them money. But I feel like in general, it's um, it's a good community, and more people that are popular and on my side of the aisle, I guess, like broadly are here, and they're sticking with it. They're using the platform. They're using the app. They're doing these lives, and we're like such a little tiny little piece of it. But I don't know. I like they have a new tool. I want to use it. Like let's
Yeah.
try it. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you actually got me turned on to it, and like, yeah, let me just so the baseball Substack. It's called the Long Game. If anybody is a baseball fan, Molly Knight is the writer and the curator of this group, and she
Mhm.
actually, she used to be like a sports writer, but where are you going to do that now? Like there's no magazine. You're
Yeah.
not going to write for a magazine. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like she's still a sports writer, but I mean, there's fewer outlets for that. So this is like one of her main sources of income now. So
Yeah.
it's $40 a year, for me to have this place to go and just chat baseball
That's
every
awesome.
week.
I wouldn't
So
even thought to have like a chat thing like that. That's really cool. And
yeah, cool.
and since
It's a nice.
we are like a league, or like we're like the Wu-Tang Clan. Like we can do solo albums and we do our group albums together. Like it's cool like that we can have like spread it out, and you do baseball over here, and I go talk about Stanley Kubrick over here, and then like we come back and we do our podcast together, and like it's just fun, and like I like the we haven't done it. It's been like a little while now, but like yeah, it'd be like, oh, let's like write a thing where we respond back to each other, like like the post.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was
So
fun.
we'll have to do it again. But we are the Wu-Tang Clan. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
Well,
a good.
I probably should get back to work, but before I had one more thing that we should talk about for a couple minutes. I haven't seen the end of Daredevil, but I did watch the first 3 episodes of Andor, and I'm liking it. I was surprised how there was there was like a violent act that I did not expect to see in a Star Wars show. I was really surprised. I'm not like critiquing it or anything, but I was like, wow, this is a Star Wars show? Isn't Star
Yeah,
Wars like for fans of the Ewoks and stuff? Like I was really surprised.
that was interesting. I mean, I think Andor is definitely sort of the anti-Star Wars show, and that's okay. It's cool. I mean, but yeah, that was surprising, even just for Disney Plus. I mean, I guess, but
Yeah, I thought so.
Daredevil too, like, was extremely violent, and
Yeah.
they're like, hey man, like, this there are adults watching this,
Yes.
so give them what they want. Not that I mean, I'm not saying, oh yeah, that attempted sexual assault on Andor,
Yeah.
that was great. But I mean, it was dramatic, and
Yeah.
she ended
And
up. I mean, I won't say what happened, but yeah, it was.
and of course, like in all the planets on these fantasy worlds, like that's like a real thing that happens to real people, and like art's a reflection of ourselves. But if you were to think this was a galaxy far, far away a long time ago, then yeah, that probably did happen. In the world, you know what I mean? It's just kind of
Well,
realistic.
I mean, lest we forget, the Imperials are bad, right? There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
like a lot of these shows have kind of like this like sort of gray area where it's like, oh no, well their mom was mean to them, or what, whatever. And so it's like, let's not forget there are bad people, and
yeah.
I mean, how did Leia end up in that slave costume? You
Right.
know?
Yeah, yeah. And I can I put can I pin the tail on the donkey? Something that I've said before we wrap it up, because I really should get back to work. But anyways, um, I have a minute or two. I want to put this pin on the tail, and I have a feeling you're gonna disagree with me, and that's okay. That's why we're such good friends.
Mhm.
I haven't seen all of Daredevil Born Again. I think it's I think it's okay, but the thing that is a controversial opinion. I still think that the Netflix Daredevil was was just a better, darker, grittier, better written, better created, better production show than the one that's on Disney Plus.
But you haven't watched it all yet, though, is what I'm saying,
I've
right?
watched like half of it,
All right, all right.
but
I mean,
and if I just talk about the vibe I get from it, like I loved those shows on Netflix. And yeah, I haven't seen the whole story, but also I'm talking about like the production of it, and I think the acting is great. It's all the same characters for the most part, but it's it's different in a way that I don't like for some reason. I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, you're allowed to have that opinion. I think it's pretty much the same, but like maybe psychologically, because it's Disney and they're not going to do certain things or whatever, But I don't know. I think, to me, it's just one long.
You
You
just
can't
see it
even
as a
tell me. Yeah,
continuous.
like, there definitely is a connective tissue there. I think Born Again on Disney Plus is violent, and I think even the production values. And by the way, let me just send a shout out to the David Mack artwork
Oh
by
yeah, I mean
Woes.
it's great. Bendis
He
or
is one of my
Max.
favorite artists. support him. He's amazing. Anyway, but yeah, he did all the Muse artwork on the show, and he did a lot of artwork for the Netflix ones too, like Jessica Jones and Daredevil. But I don't know. To me, it's all the same. Like if you didn't tell me there were different studios, completely different, like I don't know, eras or whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I think it was just shows. Just,
I
but
will give you
you're allowed.
my final thoughts on it when we're all wrapped up on it. We still have a couple episodes to go. I'm just
All
saying
right.
in general that's my opinion so far before seeing the whole season. You know,
Okay. Well,
I like the kind of tropes they took from the comics, like like Fisk is mayor. Like the
yeah,
they take stuff from the comics of recent years that we liked when we were reading Daredevil, like kind of written in there and stuff. I don't know. It's just a vibe thing for me. Kids are always talking about the vibe. I think the
yeah.
vibe is a little off for me. I can't put my finger on it.
You're entitled. You're entitled.
And
But
and I act entitled, especially when I'm driving a car or my bike. Either if I'm on my
you're one
bike
of those.
or if I'm on in a car, I'm gonna act entitled and
Yeah.
privileged.
All right. Well, that's
Speaking of privilege, it's been a privilege to share this time with you, my good friend.
and thanks to you for having me on here. I think this is great, and thanks to the folks who came along for the ride.
And
Um,
subscribe to Amanda's Substack, subscribe to
yeah,
ours as well. But we're looking forward to your piece that's going to be on there, 90-minute movies. And check
yeah,
out Horses Geek and all the people that joined us. Support creating art. I've been writing about art lately, so make art.
yeah.
Even if it's on Disney Plus and not on Netflix, do it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Later, you fucks.
Later.
Thanks to you, buddy. I'm going to go back to work now. I'm going to end the video and talk to you later.
Later.